thanks for what you've done to lead on that issue. So with that, I will turn it over to you, Governor, and thank you again for being here.
Well, thank you, Madam President. It's great to be here back in South Florida. I was like, when we were coming down, I'm like, is Art Basel over? Because that's a zoo. And so they're like, yeah, it's over. I'm like, all right, good. I just want to make sure. Not that the traffic was good, but it would have been even worse. And so I want to thank Jeanette for what she's done for the state and in this new role. She's doing a fantastic job, and FIU is really on the rise, and I'm excited for you guys. We also have Alexis Lambert, our Florida DEP Secretary, Drew Bartlett, South Florida Water Management District Executive Director. I think we have some mayors. Some of the South Florida mayors are down here. Homestead, North Miami Beach, and Miami Beach. You know, we had to work on the spring break a few years ago with Miami Beach. I mean, it was incredible what was going on. So I was like, you know, I told the mayor when he got elected, I said, why don't we just deal with it on the front end instead of having to call us in the middle, the highway patrol, when everything gets out. And I'll tell you, it's worked very well the last couple years. We also have representatives from Mote Marine Lab, Newfound Harbor Marine Institute, the Reef Institute, and the playoff-bound University of Miami Hurricanes. That was, you know, I had to chime in a little bit on that. It was the type of thing where we had 2 years ago, Florida State was undefeated, won the conference, and got excluded from. That was only 4 teams then got excluded. You know, that was a huge issue, and really was a black mark for the whole college, the politics of this. And then so this one, you know, you had kind of Notre Dame, Miami, similar records, but you know, we had a game here, right? And they did that. You know, my son is in 2nd grade. He's all he cares about is Florida State. Well, they're not making it, right? So I was like, well, who do you think should make it? There's 2 slots, Miami, Notre Dame, and Alabama. He says, Miami and Notre Dame. I was like, well, why not Alabama? He's like, because 2 years ago, Alabama took Florida State's spot in the playoff, and he's still not over that. So, you know, so we'll see. So I wish them well. You know, we haven't had a team make the playoff for a while. I think Florida State made it the first year of the playoff. The University of Florida's never made it. It's the first time the U has made it. So I wish them all the luck in the world. I think it's very, very exciting for the community down here. We have done a lot, as Jeanette mentioned, on environmental restoration. This was something that a lot of people cared about. There wasn't a lot of momentum behind it, particularly with respect to Everglades and the springs and the Indian River Lagoon and in Biscayne Bay. So we put our money where our mouth is. We set out to do the most ambitious program that the state has ever done. We not only met those expectations and goals, but we've exceeded those expectations and goals. And we are looking at historic support for these restoration projects. We've done things like the C-43 and the C-44 reservoir. We've done our part of the Everglades agricultural area reservoir, and we even did a historic agreement with the Trump administration so that they delegate some of the federal projects to us to complete, since we do it so much quicker in Florida. And so we've broken ground on 2 major projects already, and I don't think those projects would have broken ground for years had we not gotten it. And so now, because of that agreement with the Trump administration, the completion date on all of the EAA south of the lake infrastructure is now moved forward 5 years. So under Biden, it was going to be 2034. Now we got it for 2029, and that's going to really be a historic thing. So we have funded more than 1,174 projects across the state designed to reduce harmful nutrients in our waterways, massive reductions in nitrogen and phosphorus each year. We have completed more projects than has ever been completed in this time frame. And I think people look to see what's going on in the Everglades, and they're very, very pleased with really the tangible accomplishments. I mean, you look at Biscayne Bay, you look at the salinity there. It's changed for the positive. Why? Because water's moving down south like God intended, and it's now reaching there. It's a natural filtration system. You need this. You even see the flora and fauna in the Everglades. People are noticing some of the things that they hadn't seen. Hopefully even more as we get more of these pythons out of there. You know, we got huge increase in python removals now this year. So we have a new program, and we're going to keep doing all of that. So we have done major stuff for the Florida Everglades, but we've also done things for water resources writ large, not just simply Everglades, but a whole host of other things. The Indian River Lagoon has been a huge thing. Florida springs. I mean, if you go to different parts of the state, we have the best springs of any place in the country. Major restorations that have been done there. Now, here in South Florida, one of the things we've done that is related, but not the same as Everglades restoration is the reduction or the restoration of Biscayne Bay. And we launched this project, I think in 2021, and after today's award, grant awards, we will have reached $100 million in support for Biscayne Bay restoration. So we will be awarded today we'll be awarding $20 million in grants and aid for the Biscayne Bay water quality improvement projects. These grants will support a total of 8 projects, including 6 new projects and supplemental funding for 2 existing and expanding projects. And the recipients include Miami-Dade County, cities of South Beach, Homestead, and Miami Beach, North Miami Beach Water, and the town of Cutler Bay and Miami Shores Village. So these projects include septic to sewer conversion, wastewater storage projects that will lead to improved water quality of Biscayne Bay. You know, what we've already done has made a difference. I mean, people are very pleased with that, but we're not done, and we're going to continue to do that. And there have been a lot of applications that came, and basically the department selects the ones that are going to have the biggest impact on what we're trying to accomplish. Also today, we're awarding $9.5 million in grants and aid for Florida's Coral Reef Restoration and Recovery Initiative. As the home of the continental U.S.'s only living barrier reef, we have worked very hard to protect this natural treasure. Since 2014, the reef has experienced an outbreak of stony coral tissue loss disease. It's progressed rapidly to affect the entire reef ecosystem. In January 2023, we established through executive order and this initiative aimed at developing the infrastructure, technology, workforce, and logistics necessary to support long-term recovery of Florida's coral reef. So today we'll be funding 11 projects. They were project prioritized and awarded based on impact of scaling up land-based coral infrastructure and capacity. Recipients for this will include Sea Foundry, the Florida Aquarium, iCare Corporation, Moat Marine, Reef Institute, Plant a Million, Corals Foundation, Reef Renewal USA, Newfound Harbor Marine Institute, Fish and Wildlife Foundation of Florida, and higher education institutions like Nova Southeastern, University of Miami, and Florida Atlantic University's Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute. So this will help both the academic and private partners that are doing research to establish, expand, and maintain Florida's in-state coral propagation and grow-out facilities. So I want to thank the folks in the legislature who've been supportive of these initiatives over many, many years. I mean, we started in 2019, and it was a little bit different than the muscle memory that they had been doing in terms of how they handled some of the stuff. And there was a little bit of trepidation, and we were just like, you got to do it. And we had some great champions in the legislature. And then after we did it a year or two, we got a lot of momentum, had huge support through the years. And I think this is something that is really, really meaningful. So, you know, as the state of Florida is reducing taxes on people, as we're paying down, we've done accelerated debt repayment. You know, we now hit reducing our state taxpayer supported debt by 50% just since I've been governor. Out of all 180 years of our history, we've knocked out 50%. We're doing a whole bunch of other things with maximizing the rainy day fund, doing a lot of great stuff. And by the way, our budget's less than the budget of New York City, which only has 8 million people. And that's before Mendami takes over the grocery stores. That's going to cost more. I'm telling you, it's not going to be pretty. But so we've done all that and been very fiscally responsible, and yet we've done historic support for these initiatives for conservation and environment, and we're really showing how it's done. And I'm proud of the folks that have been involved because, you know, the fact that we have the Army Corps and the Secretary of the Army and some of these folks saying, look, we know Florida's faster. We know Florida gets it done. We want to work together. We want to empower you guys. So for them to be block granting the money for those federal projects and we're taking the lead on those, that is a really, really great team effort, and we're making huge, huge progress. So thanks to everybody involved. Alexis, come on up.
Good morning. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, President Nunez and FIU for hosting us here this morning. It's great to be here on windy Biscayne Bay. Few places in Florida show the connection between our environment and our economy more clearly than this one. The Bay supports millions of Floridians, including one of the busiest cruise ports in the world, and it plays a vital role in the health of Florida's coral reef. Together, the Bay and the Reef generate $64 billion in economic output and support 440,000 jobs in the region. Under Governor DeSantis' leadership and with the support of the Florida legislature, we're taking decisive action to protect these waters and the communities that depend on them. Today's awards build on the coordinated effort launched in 2021 with the creation of the Biscayne Bay Commission, which brings key stakeholders together to carry out a clear plan for restoring this vital resource. Since then, as the governor stated, we've awarded $100 million through the Biscayne Bay Water Quality Improvement Grant Program to reduce nutrient pollution, improve wastewater systems, convert septic systems to sewer, and strengthen stormwater management. Improving water quality here is also critical to what lies just beyond the bay, Florida's coral reef. We're investing $9.5 million to advance coral propagation and restoration to help reach our goal of restoring 25% of Florida's coral reef by 2050. Through this initiative, DEP and our partners are now propagating tens of thousands of resilient coral colonies each year and restoring critical reef-building species. With continued support from Governor DeSantis and the legislature, we will keep making Florida making real measurable progress for Florida's coastal waters. Thank you. Okay. Drew? I'm going to take this. It's bad.
Thank you, Governor. I'm Drew Bartlett, Executive Director for the South Florida Water Management District, and $64 billion economy coming out of Biscayne Bay for the state of Florida. That's a big economy, a lot of jobs. But I didn't need a study to tell me that, because my wife and I, we plan a trip to Biscayne Bay every year. And in my last interaction, I was like, honey, I'm making the reservations on the hotel for Biscayne and Miami. She said, make sure you get the bay view. I'm like, okay, checked it. Honey, it's more expensive. I love you too. Well, I guess we're going to get the bay view. All right, so because it's important to people. It's important to economy, this type of thing. And I've been in the water business since 1992. I started when I was 5. Yes, I know I look young. But what we learn over those years is that infrastructure investment is what is necessary to protect our environmental resources. And for the first 29 years of my career, there was none of this money going into Biscayne Bay, right? It only happened under you, Governor DeSantis, where you started this. You say, look, this bay is important. We need to start bringing state dollars, partnering with the local governments to get this infrastructure investment. And now we're up to 37 projects going on for Biscayne Bay. And let me tell you, it will make a difference. I manage projects. We put projects in at the South Florida Water Management District, and we see the difference right away as soon as they come online. And we're seeing it in the Everglades. We're seeing it in Florida Bay. And I'm happy to say, last month we celebrated the 80th project, starting with the pump station to get lake water south. And this afternoon at 1:30, I'm going to add 81 and 82, where we are restoring almost 4,000 acres of coastal habitat south of here in Cutler Bay and close to Homestead for the critters in Biscayne Bay. This has been envisioned, this project's been envisioned since 2000 as part of Everglades restoration. And at 1:30 today, I invite all of you here to come celebrate that restoration project too. Because let me tell you, this is a great day for Biscayne Bay. It's a great day for all of us in the water profession, all of us that care about Biscayne Bay. And it's a great day for Drew, because I got the best job on the planet getting to do this. Thank you, Governor, for giving me the best job.
Good job. Well, we're excited about this, and we'll be doing our budget very shortly. And the thing I think that I can say is, you're going to see robust commitment, but because we've completed so much stuff, you actually are not going to need to spend the same levels that we've been spending in recent years. I mean, those were really serious investments. These are major projects, and when these projects come online, look, there's operation and maintenance, of course, but we've really done the heavy lifting. So there's going to be more to do, of course, but I think you're on a great path, and certainly from a fiscal perspective, it's going to be something that's really good. I was talking with a fellow great guy that runs our revenue department, and it's like, you hear a lot about the economy nationally and everything like that, and it's like, so they just had November, and they always forecast the revenue, and like sales tax revenue was like $240 million overestimate in Florida, and that's kind of been the story for so many years now. So we've got really strong fiscal, strong reserve, strong rainy day fund, and we're going to continue the commitment to doing all the stuff for environmental restoration. But man, having these reservoirs done, having what we've done, the stormwater treatment part of the EAA, we'll have these pump stations done, not too distant future. All we've done with Tamiami Trail, finishing. I mean, this is really, really major, and it's going to end up being something that people will be thankful for many years. Okay, do we have any questions back there? Well, I welcome the lawsuit. First of all, I get roll out of bed anymore. Someone's suing us for. I mean, it's like some of it's just lawfare, right? But we welcome that. I mean, we did do the designation for both the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE. This is something that has been a long time coming. I know the federal government's now working in a similar direction. The legislature is working on statutory laws that are going to impact this area. So I think our executive order is kind of the beginning. I think you're going to see statutory codification